So let's talk about that journey then.
Yep.
That journey from got an idea, want to start that ice cream business, that chili and basil ice cream business, whatever.
Exit for tens of millions.
Exit for tens of millions. I get off the ground. People love my chili and basil ice cream. What is the journey that an entrepreneur goes on from zero up until they exit?
So there's a key stages. The first 4 stages where everyone gets caught is called chaos, concept, audience, offer, sales. So you have to develop your concept. So it's a good concept. You've validated it. You've conducted some experiments. You're aligned to it. Other people are excited about it. Audience is that you engage an audience. Waiting lists, dinner parties, scorecards, quizzes, discussion groups, all of those are great audience builders.
Yep.
Offer is that you construct a packaged up offering so that people can buy something and that audience can now act on something and buy. And then sales, which is the ability to talk and discuss with your interested parties to close deals, to actually get sales across the line and to do that predictably and reliably. So for sales, we established something called a rhythm of laps, leads, appointments, presentations, and sales. And we measure our pipeline every week. How many leads, how many appointments, how many presentations, how many sales. So those are the first 4 things: concept, audience, offer, sales. And that should get you into the 6 figures of revenue just by doing that. The next thing is about team building. You've got to establish a key person of influence who's got a personal brand, who's the leader of the company, who's going to embody the brand, and you've got to build a team of 8 people around them. A general manager, marketing and sales, finance admin, IT, media, and operations, those kind of roles. And essentially, you now build this core team of 8, and the key person of influence job is to engage bigger and bigger audiences. And so they get out there and tell the story of the business, they get on stages, they pitch, they publish content, they raise their profile, they do joint ventures and partnerships. So they're leading from the front while the general manager or ops director is making sure things don't fall apart behind. Once you hit about 8 people, you now have to digitize absolutely everything of value in that business. So now you go through the whole process of digitization of the value. So you're getting ready to scale.
Which means, for example, moving physical relationships to a CRM, some kind of database, or
building a CRM, formalizing your intellectual property, building a brand, a company brand, formalizing your organizational culture, getting into really good investor relationship and documentation, governance. So all of these are developing systems, developing assets of the business, having online marketing and sales systems, having an online way of generating a lot of leads reliably, having an online way of making customers mostly happy most of the time. So you're basically trying to build as many assets as possible. What you're trying to do at about 8 to 10 people is raise revenue per person. So let's say you've got 10 people with 100,000 per person. So you've got $1 million of revenue, 10 people times 100,000, $1 million of revenue. If you can add assets and get it to go to 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 million, now you've got 130,000 per person. So what you're trying to do is add as many digital assets as possible to get the revenue per employee or the revenue per person up. Once you see that the revenue per person is going up, now you can add people, because the more digital assets there are times by the number of people, now you're going to be successful. Now, the really hard jump is from 12 to 30. From 12 people to 30, you're too big to be small, too small to be big. Very difficult time in any business's life. And what you have to do is go through a transformation of a small team of rebels and misfits to a professional team that's manufacturing value. A lot of people have to go. Unfortunately, some of the earlier people who were there because they could breathe and had a pulse and all of that sort of stuff, they unfortunately have to go find a new startup. And you now have to go and bring on team members who come through recruiters with a proper process and who they go through an entire process of how they join the team. They're onboarded correctly. And now you transform into a more valuable professional organization. Once you hit 30, you've got a 5-person executive team plus a non-executive director and an advisor. And then you've got some teams of teams. And now you're doing 10 million of revenue, 3 million of profit, and now you're exitable.